Greetings. I'm Kathy Green with Christian News. Excuse me. Kathy Green with Christian News and interviews. And today I'm going to be talking about an article that I read about former quote unquote pastor Carl Lentz. And I'm just going to read part of the article and see what you think. A Hillsong worship leader who worked for ex-Hillsong New York City pastor Carl Lentz has accused him of manipulation, control, bullying, abuse of power, and sexual abuse. Throughout the 7 years that she worked for his family. Now let's pause there. A former employee is accusing Carl Lentz of manipulation, control, bullying, abuse of power, and sexual abuse over the 7 years that she continued to work for him. Leona Kimes, 37 years of age, made her allegations on the website called Medium on Monday. Although she did not name Lentz in her post, referring to him as the lead pastor of Hillsong New York City, she confirmed his identity to the Religion News Service. Kimes, who is now co-pastor of Hillsong's Boston locations, claimed Lentz abused her sexually on multiple occasions. Let's pause there. I'm confused. So maybe somebody can help me out. 37 years old. She worked for this man for 7 years. So let's say that she was late 20s, early 30s when she started working for him. Stayed with him for 7 years. He lived over here with his wife and family. She lived over there with her husband, her family. Okay? She was not in slavery. She was free to go and come as she pleased. And she now wants us to believe that for 7 years, she was manipulated, controlled, bullied, the victim of abuse of power, and the victim of sexual abuse by a man. She went on to say that he abused her sexually, not once, but on multiple occasions. Now, multiple tells me more than 3. So in the 7 years that she was with him, multiple times. Multiple can mean almost anything. It can mean hundreds of times. Multiple occasions, he sexually abused her, according to her. He responded, and his legal representative said, quote, that he vehemently denies the accusations in a statement to NBC News, adding that the ex-pastor and his wife have irrefutable proof the events did not happen as they were described. Let me end by saying this. Carl Lentz was fired from his position as head over Hillsong Church East Coast in November. Following his dismissal, Lentz admitted that he had cheated on his wife of 17 years. So let's start by saying this. Pastor Lentz, or former Pastor Lentz, has admitted that he cheated on his wife. His wife knows that she was cheated on. This man had women, because of his power and because some women view him as being, a hunk and handsome and all that. He had any number of women at his disposal. He had affairs. His wife knew it. Apparently they had some type of an understanding within that marriage. None of my business. He's denying Leona Kimes' accusations. And actually, I understand. I don't blame him. Miss Kimes wants us to believe that she worked for this man for 7 years. And even though she was not a slave, even though she was free to come and go, she wants us to believe that she continued to go to a man's home and to be alone in a room with him. See, in order for someone to sexually abuse you once, no one's going to sexually abuse you out on the street unless they're really crazy. So she wants us to believe that this pastor sexually abused her once. Okay, I can believe that. I can believe that. But if someone sexually abuses you once and you're not a slave and you're free to come and go, how does that person get into a room with you to get you a second time, or a third time, or a 10th time, or a 20th time, or 100th time? That's my dog in the background. I think he's agreeing with me. But how does someone sexually abuse you multiple times? How does that happen when you're free to come and go? I actually agree with his legal team. They said that the events didn't happen the way she described it. I do believe that they had sexual relations multiple times, but I am wondering how abusive it was if she kept going back in a land where she's free to come and go as she pleases. I'm not understanding it. And I'm also not understanding why she chose to continue to work for a man who she says is manipulative, a bullier, abuses his power, and is sexually violent. I don't get it. This was not an 18-year-old. This was not a 10-year-old. This was a 30-something-year-old woman, and at the time in her late 20s when she started working for him. Are you telling me that had he not been fired, she would still be working for him? Still going back to this abuse? I believe some things in life, but I don't believe everything I hear. And this happens to be, in my personal opinion, something that's very questionable. Tell me what you think. I'm going to post the article below.